It's the Jim and Terry Show coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in downtown Bob Gaugin, and it is dark and gloomy outside.
What do you mean by that?
Your mood is dark.
What do you mean by that? That's how you see it. I got an alternative truth here.
Gray is not just the color of the sky, it's the color of your beard, my friend. We're long in the tooth and old fogies who have a lot to say after we get pumped up with a coffee and the grounds. Uncommon grounds.
Well, we were just talking. I mean, let's face it. What I said to you is we were thinking about what we were going to say today, and I went, we brought up a couple of subjects, and we both balked, and I said, they're ruining everything. We can't talk about anything.
Shrugged our shoulders and sighed in resignation, but nothing we can talk about. Well, let's talk about the couple of things that you did mention. This will just be a generic podcast about things that we found odd. One is the astronauts at the International Space Station, sent there by the Boeing Starliner, that had to be disembarked from the International Space Station.
It's the Jews' fault.
It had it had a leak. They couldn't fix it, so they disembarked it and sent it back to Earth, leaving 2 astronauts up there on the International Space Station. Likely that they won't be rescued until March, perhaps even April, making them, one of the longer stays on the International Space Station, nearly 8 months at that point. But it wasn't the fact that they got stranded. It wasn't the fact that Musk can get there and take them back. It's the fact that both Trump and Musk blamed Biden.
And that's terrible because the solution to the problem was decided last August, that SpaceX would rescue them under Biden.
And everybody knew it. Under Biden.
Yeah, and so they're actually changing history. They're just going to rewrite it the way they want it to sound, and this is just sick, in my opinion. That's a minor thing, but I was kidding when I said it's the Jews' fault, because you sent me that thing that 6 degrees from
6 degrees from blaming Jews for any event.
Everything.
Yeah. So it's the Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Within 6 names, you can somehow draw it into it's the Jews' fault, and that is under the heading of anti-Semitism. Musk went to Germany, although he didn't make this he made a conference call to this rally. He didn't show up there on stage. The AfD, which is the far-right party, Alternative for Deutschland. Alternative for Germany, AfD, Deutschland, DG is Germany. So he was there in this big screen, larger than life, and urging people to move past the Nazis.
Holocaust and everything.
Yes, move past the Nazis, move past guilt.
And let's just do it again.
Well, apparently it's probably going to happen, but this time it won't be the Jews that we know of.
Now, I got a question for you. With all these raids for Mexicans and ICE raids on immigrants and stuff, has anybody raided SpaceX yet? They have a mitt full of
illegal.
Well, I don't know if they're illegal, but they're the workers. There's all kinds of Hispanic. You can see just by looking at them. Probably now they're walking around with hoods over their heads and scarves on so you can't see their faces. But are they being raided? Is Mar-a-Lago being raided? He has staff there that are immigrants.
Do you remember the documents case? The pool boy who was hiding the documents? Yeah. He was an undocumented alien as well.
So an undocumented document was hiding the documents.
An undocumented alien was hiding the undocumented.
Tell me he wasn't thrown under the bus.
Well,
it's that guy's fault over there.
But none of it happened because that was in Jack Smith's court case that had they got part of the report published. I don't want to wander all over the place. Let's go back to the focus of SpaceX. Had it all under control, was given the mission under Biden, and all of a sudden it's Biden's fault that they're stuck there. So this is Musk. You said rewriting history. And I'm mindful of that it is the conquerors who write the history.
They've already got a schedule to rescue these guys. I don't know why Trump's announcing that he's asked Musk. That's just bull. And all you people that are listening to this bull, I don't understand why you can't hear it, can't see it, can't feel it. You and me, Terry, were talking today about what's in the air. It's just in the air. You know, we're in a weird time, man, and it's a weird time.
Well, I always come back to your father sitting in the comfy rocking chair, looking out the front window, and the stupid gas that he said was the chemtrails coming out of the jet engines. That makes more sense to me these days. How sad is it that makes sense?
Dad. I'm sorry.
You had it right. You had it right, Mr. Sampson. Okay. Yeah, so that's this part of the goofy story that doesn't make any sense. Other parts of the goofy story is that Trump will throw whoever he needs to throw under the bus. So the pause on the funding. He threw under the bus John Vogt. I believe that's his name, Vought, who's one of the authors of Project 2025, which is the playbook that Trump's administration is enacting through, at this point, nearly 2 weeks in, its executive orders. That's all.
The Fourth Reich?
Nothing has come through legitimate congressional approval with a bill being formed and bipartisan discussion and amendments and then a vote on it the way we do also in Canada, where you put it to the table. Everybody has to say that what they like, what they don't like. Then you make changes. Then you get another reading. You know, in Canada, that's a process, due process. It's all executive order, which you said knowingly, I think, with a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that's all executive or autocratic, which takes us into the realm of Nazi Germany, which we've been saying and dancing around, and people said, oh, you're overreacting by saying they're fascists. And no, we are not overreacting.
No, that's what they are. Yeah. They're going to eliminate government and then fill it with the people that are going to kiss his butt and say, look what happened. The defense secretary,
Pete Hegseth.
What did he do immediately? Revoked the protection for heroes. He was the one who signed off on that.
Well, it was for Mark Milley.
Yeah.
So take away his protection and remove it from Anthony Fauci as well.
And who's the politician? They took it from him as well because they were all part of it, the eliminating of ISIS and everything else. They got bullseyes on their back, and Trump has basically said, kill him. That's what he said. That's
when you withdraw protection, you are saying it's okay.
Yeah, kill him. Well, the protection was there because they know that the people have the ability to do that. Now the protection's gone.
Well, you're
back to poisoning, falling out windows, all the things, jets coming out of the sky. And no, I'm not relating that to today's disaster.
No, you were talking about the Russian one.
The Russian one.
Took out his opposition.
He don't forget he invited them to Moscow. Come on up, we'll talk.
And that was the mistake.
And they hopped in a jet to go thinking they were going to talk to him, and no, the jet never made it.
Yeah, of course not.
Wasn't his fault. The wing just fell off.
So all of this stuff is just mind-boggling, and it can be mind-numbing, meaning we get desensitized because there's so much. And that is part of the challenge of this administration for everybody who's normal, is to try to keep your sanity through the insanity of an insane administration.
Yeah.
In what world does Pete Hegseth become the head of the Department of Defense? No world that I espouse. So how did he get there?
Well, RFK Jr. here.
His hearings were yesterday.
And if he ever could make it through, number one, he would never be chosen. So Bobby may be right when he says, I think Trump doesn't want him there. He just knows he promised it.
He's already been approved. He's in. Pete Hegseth is
No, I meant Robert Kennedy.
Oh, no.
Junior.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He could have been a trial balloon saying, let's let him run, let him try.
Or I promised him this.
Yeah.
I promised it, but it's not my fault if you can't get in. Because I don't know if Trump's really pulling any strings on this one.
The funny thing is, during his campaign, Trump hated.
Oh, I heard.
All the comments and clips. We've got the records of all of that stuff. He hated RFK Jr.
It was a Democrat who was going to bring down the entire government. And now he is his choice for your health, folks. for the guy who don't believe in vaccines is going to be in charge of you having a vaccine. But let this just be a lesson to you and all you lovely anti-vaxxers. Just like Trump's family's all vaxxed, our Robert Kennedy Jr.'s family kids are vaccinated.
Yes.
He's saying to you, don't get vaccinated.
Well,
You're being played unbelievable because you know what? I got a funny feeling they want you dead. They don't care. Remember, there's a whole group out there that thinks we can only survive, 300 million people or something like that on the earth. So there's a lot of people to knock off. A lot of people to knock off here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you got your adult-size anti-vax onesie that RFK Jr. was selling. They come in adult sizes? Well, that all depends. If you get diapers for adults,
it's funny because
anti-vax.
I believe in the vaccines and everything else, but as you know, I had a bad reaction.
Yes.
And I also had a bad reaction to one flu shot I had. I still am all for it. I realize that some people are going to react differently for different reasons. Some people get sick and you don't know why. My sister's in a hospital right now with a pile of stuff. Finally, she's coming out of it, but really suffered and still doesn't know how she got that way. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Everything was fine. So some people get a shot and the body's not ready for it or whatever. And you know what? It's not the vaccine's fault or everybody else's fault. It's just some people are going to suffer with COVID. I've had COVID. I had the COVID vaccine. I did not react good to most of the COVID. That last one I did because I did what they said, quite frankly. I really, really took in a lot of water and hydrated myself. And that helped me a lot. But even if I've got long-term COVID, whatever, I'm still for vaccines and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sure some people who have had the booster shots and everything else in school still ended up with some of the diseases that's supposed to prevent. Some, but most didn't. It's all under control. You know what I mean? Until now.
Well, RFK Jr. is giving a chance to defend himself from all the things he's said and written about because he's got a lot of books and they're all available if you care to look and read or not, which is the case, and your dad had it right.
Unless he just wrote the books to make a lot of money and doesn't care if people
you think?
die. Doesn't care if people die.
RFK, will he be confirmed? Put your comments in there. Put a loony on it. Will he be confirmed? I got a feeling he will survive if there are enough Republicans. J.D. Vance cast the winning vote, and he will be affirmed. I don't believe it, but here we go. Brace yourself.
Well, it's a ride.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye for now. Jim and Terry Show. Stay tuned. We got more.